This week we scout out rivalry in football and why Bolton are shite.
Yes, here we go. Jones, you're off. We're in.
We're straight in.
Always straight in. Well, we're going with this week. We're going with fucking football derbies and rivalries.
I think
which you know nothing about.
You've got to be joking. You've got to be joking. No, it's don't get me wrong. I want to do that, but now is the time to kind of pick up on that World Cup draw, considering it's just been drawn out.
Oh, has it just been what? What? I've been out all day. I've not even seen nothing.
The World Cup draw has just been announced. So
bloody hell.
So basically, England's group is England, Iran, USA, and the winner of either Wales, Scotland, or Ukraine in the European qualifier.
That is superb, really. Like that is quite USA. That'll be tricky. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I like that. No, yeah, Iran. We should slap Iran, really. And then the others could be tricky, I suppose. Actually, Ukraine, Wales, or Scotland, was it?
Honestly, I quite just from a sit-back perspective of actual games like these games I actually want to see. I think for me, I always want to see the games that you don't get to see. You know, so it's like for me, I know it sounds crazy, but like Qatar playing Netherlands would just be like a game I would watch because
exactly.
That would be like my go-to game. I'd be like, yeah, I want to watch that. That'd be funny. That'd be pretty good. There's some juicy ones as well. Portugal and Uruguay and Ghana, South Korea in the same group. So Portugal, Uruguay.
That's a World Cup. That's a World Cup right there. That group sounded exactly like a World Cup.
Yeah, it's a proper World Cup group. I don't know why Switzerland and Brazil always get drawn in the same group. They must hate each other. And so that Qatar group, Qatar's got Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Like that is such a good group. Like just from a viewing perspective, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. That's a bit random. Don't know. It's a bit odd. Probably the most boring group for me would be that France, Denmark, Tunisia group with a qualifier game that don't really appeal to me. Spain and Germany have been drawn in the same group with Japan and either Costa Rica or New Zealand.
Yeah, I like that. I like that group.
That's cool. Group F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. That could be tasty.
Yeah, I like that. When you just throw these random, like, decent teams from random, like, continents together, that's when it gets tasty.
Yeah.
Like Morocco versus Croatia. You never normally see that kind of.
For me, I think Group A, that Qatar group, our group, and that Group H with Portugal, Uruguay, they're definitely like ones for me where I just think, yeah, I want to watch them ones, definitely. There's no reason for it though. Like everybody could watch different teams. You know, I'm sure like people that just want to see good football would just go and watch France or something like that. But like for me, it's not about that. It's about seeing countries that you don't get to see.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I want to watch like, I don't know, Canada versus Morocco. That'd be like that'd actually
exactly. Yeah, just seeing it. And there'll be some kind of star player from one of these random continents. I can imagine playing Iran and like some random wingers just giving us a fucking hard time, like for fuck's sake.
And then it gets. The thing is though, like obviously with the World Cup in recent times, you've always had, you know, people have always scouted players in the World Cup and signed them. But the funny thing is the World Cup's in the winter. So it's going to be soon in like December. And then January, you'll have the transfer window.
Well, I'll put my hand up and say straight away, I remember full well that I remember watching a certain Ecuadorian playing the World Cup with yellow boots on, thinking he's fucking class and what a class winger he is. Next thing you know, fucking Wigan signed him, talking, of course, about Antonio Valencia. Hey, fucking, honest to God, I couldn't believe, like, when Wigan signed him, I was like, oh, no way if we actually signed him. Like, I remember watching him in the World Cup thinking he's class and good winger him. Then he went on to have a fucking good career at United as well. So, yeah, fucking good player.
Great career at United.
Yeah, I know he did, didn't he? Yeah. He fucking bolts up. I remember thinking, like, he was such a rake at Wigan, and then he went to United, as if, like, United had Jim for gym facilities, and he just fucking got henches.
Oh, mate, he became so massive at United, it was unreal. But the thing is, as well, though, he's just that player that you wanted in your team as well. Like, he was so reliable, so dependable.
Yeah.
Maybe not for his English language, but apart from that, like as a football player, he was just class.
It was a weird one, weren't it? Because he didn't have the best start to his United career, but he definitely left as a bit of like, not like he weren't exactly a legend, but he definitely like a lot of fans liked him, didn't they? Like he left in good heart.
Put it this way, I'd be surprised if any United fan came up and said they didn't like Antonio Valencia. I genuinely would, because he was so good. The thing is, you've got to remember when United signed him, United were winning titles when he signed him. So there was always them star players, Ronaldo, Rooney, Berbatov, Scholes, there was always somebody else who was a star player. But especially coming to the back of where United stopped winning trophies, he was still very dependable on him, and he was so reliable. Every season, when we were winning trophy and when we weren't, he was so reliable. So, he was absolutely brilliant.
He was. He was a really good player. He was always great for us, but it just seemed like a different player, like compared. It was only seemed like over the same like a matter of one season, where for us he was like this tricky winger. And they're like all about pace. And then at United, he seemed like a completely different kind of like, you know what I mean? He relied more on like power and strength and pace rather than like being like a skillful winger. It was pretty strange to see.
Yeah,
I liked him.
Valencia. He wasn't skillful, but he could get past players with pace and just dummies and pace all the time. Like, and it just seemed to work for him. I always felt to myself, how are people not clocked this yet? Like, or can he just not deal with it? I don't know. Yeah,
but, he reminds me of on a different scale, but Adama Traore, that kind of like just raw power and pace, like just skip on the outside of a player.
Yeah.
Like, probably not to that same scale level, but that's what he seemed like. That's the path he was going down, where it's just pure pace and pure strength, and he just go past you, and not much you can do about it.
Yeah,
but it will be interesting. Like it's like the whole that little segue was. It will be interesting to see if anyone like really performs at the World Cup and then gets to be signed for a top club in January.
Yeah, well, I remember that Danish fullback Joachim Mæhle, who's at Atlanta, but he had a great Euros. Everybody was talking about him having big money moves away from his club. But he was incredible.
And another one that sticks out in my head is James Rodriguez. Went from Colombia literally lit up, didn't he? That wonder goal in the World Cup, and then he ended up at Real Madrid.
Didn't Yerry Mina join Everton after that as well?
I think it's like the biggest stage, isn't it, to really like prove yourself, like especially from a lot of these like nations that are pretty small. They've not got massive clubs in them nations. There's a big chance there. Like I remember Wigan went through this fucking like spell of just signing anybody who's got a Honduran passport. If you're from the Honduras, we're gonna fucking sign you. We had Figueroa, we had fucking Henry Thomas. Who was the other one? Fucking hell.
Palacios.
Palacios, that was one. Yeah, we just seem to sign anyone from that kind of region just for a few years. They paid off, don't get me wrong, they really fucking worked. Like, we went through this fucking weird spell. I think that was something to do probably with the World Cup, or I don't know, maybe we sent some scouts out to South America and they went to Honduras instead of Brazil for some bizarre reason.
I'd be a bit worried if you fucking intended to go to Brazil and ended up in Honduras. I feel like that would have been 10 times harder, but yeah, fair play to them.
They would be from Wigan though, so yeah.
I've just seen there's a stadium in Qatar that they built called Education City. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like that sounds weird. Like that sounds like a George Orwell novel rather than like some kind of stadium. No, I don't rate the name of that.
No, I don't either. It's very patronising, actually. I feel like they're a country with no football history is telling the world that they've got football history. It just seems a bit odd. Maybe I'm taking it the wrong way, but that's how it's. That's how it.
Well, it seems on the subject. Might as well ask, like, going off that. How do you think we'll fare in our group? There, I think we'll do okay, really.
Group wise, absolutely, but it all comes down to knockout stages. I think you saw with England, especially in the Euros final, they could have won that tournament, no problem. I personally think they could have won that tournament, no problem, but they let it get to the Reds and they flapped it, and I think it will just happen again and again and again. I see England playing. They never do well against Belgium, so if they get drawn against Belgium, that's not going to happen. If they just some games they get sussed out. I don't think certain countries are the same as what they used to be. I mean, obviously look at Brazil. Brazil were phenomenal, and then they got swapped 7-1 against Germany. So, I don't think certain countries are as good as they used to be. I honestly, I think people underestimate Spain because the big players they've lost, but I think they've got a good blend of older and younger players. That's why I feel like Spain will do all right. And the thing is with Spain as well, nobody expects anything of them as well, which is another thing. Whereas the pressure kind of lies like France, Belgium, England, you'd have to throw in there. So the pressure don't lie with someone like Spain. I don't think this time, as much as they are a great nation, you'd expect them to win trophies. I just can't imagine them. I just see them doing it. I don't know how. I don't know why. I just see them doing it.
Yeah, I think with England, the only worry in our group is definitely USA. Do you know who we get? Who our most likely knockout round opponent would be?
No, I
no, you don't know. I wasn't sure. Like the thing is, I've been out all day, so I don't have a clue. I didn't even know that the draw was happening today. To be honest, I didn't even know that was going down.
Well, you've got to remember the fourth. I mean, Iran and USA are confirmed. Wales or Scotland or Ukraine we could play. Ukraine we swapped in the Euros, so I mean I don't think people will be too disappointed about that. But Wales and Scotland, you've not got an easy game there. I know maybe it looks easy, but
we beat Scotland in the Euros, didn't we? We drew with Scotland actually, didn't we?
Yeah, sorry.
It felt like a loss. The Scots celebrated it like a win, so it did feel like a loss.
It was 0-0, and Scotland were a better team, but they still didn't win. And that was, but. It depends. It depends on how well they do. But then, at the end of the day, you've got to remember, if Scotland beat Ukraine, the European qualifier to go to the World Cup is Wales versus Scotland. What a game that is!
Yeah,
that's actually mad.
Who would you fancy for that game? I think I'd fancy Wales.
Yeah.
I think Gareth Bale would edge it when.
Just on quality, really. But you've got to remember that they did not. It's just, it's difficult, really. I don't know. I'd have to edge Wales because just the quality in the short moments, if you like. I can imagine it being a very cagey affair, but I think quality would probably see Wales through. Whereas I don't feel like Scotland would have that. But then, knowing that I've said that, Scotland will go swap them 3-0. So, it's I just feel like Wales would edge that. Would Scotland beat Ukraine? I'm not sure. No. But then the whole reason that game's not been played is obviously a political reason. So.
Yeah, just a bit. They've had a few struggles on the Ukraine in a minute. Jesus,
probably the most justified delayed game ever. So.
Got through me a curveball there. Any kind of thing that I was looking in for today had stuff to do with football rivalries and derbies. I mean, I suppose Wales, Scotland, or in the group stages, England, Wales, kind of that would be a bit of a rivalry. So it does link.
I've got to say though, and I don't think people agree with this, but I'd rather home nations make it, to the World Cup. I don't want us to lose against it. What's to swap them in the World Cup? But I'd rather them get there. I'd want Wales and Scotland to go to the World Cup.
No, I think I'm definitely the same. Anyone from the British Isles.
Scotland. Just look at some of these groups. If you took Switzerland out, Scotland versus Brazil and Cameroon, that'd just be mad.
It would be fucking crazy watching
Scotland versus Qatar in the World Cup.
Yeah, Brazil would be the one though. Just like watching Grant Hanley trying to pocket Neymar would be quite a fucking entertaining. That would be G. I tell you, like linking it back to Wigan. Seems I was going to talk about Wigan. One of their main centre backs who keep playing is Jack Hendry. And we had him. We signed him when we was in League One years ago, and we let him go.
Am I not right in saying that he plays for Club Bruges now? I could have sworn.
Yeah. He signed for them for 10 million.
What?
Like, yeah. We signed him like for, I think pretty much for free or for peanuts like years ago. From maybe Patrick Thistle. We signed him for peanuts. So obviously our scouting network was doing something right. And we went up into the Championship, and then we just released him, and I think he went to a random Scottish team, did well there, and then Celtic signed him, did okay at Celtic, got a Scottish call up, then Club Bruges signed him for 10 million. And I'll tell you another one, I know.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, another crazy one, around the same, probably earlier than that, but for some reason it's sticking in my head that it might have been roughly the same, similar time. I went back on Ultimate Team on FIFA. I don't know, I was bored. I fancied having a little random go.
My God. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, no, because I've contemplated it, and I'm pretty sure that I'm a Division 5 kind of specialist now. Just want to sit in Division 5, enjoying myself.
You're not.
I am. I just sit in Division 5, happy as Larry in Division 5, because Division 5 is, you still get them mongs who just run straight into you and just like are fucking terrible at FIFA. But now and again, you get someone who's passing through who's better and just slaps you. But I think Division 5 is kind of high level. But anyway, right, on that, my striker at the minute, who's probably the best player I've played with on the game, is Andy Delors, who Wigan signed, and he did fuck all. He played like 12 games and scored 0 goals.
Is he in the French league? No.
He's scoring for fun in the French league. Again, it's one of these mad signings that Wigan signed.
Is it Rennes, actually? I'm sure it's Rennes.
It's
Rennes?
one.
I don't know.
It might be Lille, I think. I think it might be Lille. I'll have a little Google. Fuck it. But yeah, he was terrible for Wigan. He wasn't even that terrible. He just never really played, never got a chance. Goes back to France. He's been fucking lighting it up for I think it is Nice. He's at Nice now, but he weren't. He was at Montpellier where he was lighting it up for Montpellier, and he's gone to Nice now, and he scored against PSG, and he was doing all right. And it's bizarre to think that a few years ago we were signing these weird players who end up doing fuck all for us, going on and having pretty good careers out of it. Jack Hendry, but then he made me think of Andy Delors, because when I seen him on fucking Ultimate Team as an overall of 81, at Wigan he would have been an overall of about fucking 55. So it's a fucking a mad one, to be fair. He's at Nice at the minute. Yeah, he was from Montpellier, but very, very, very strange that he's ended up doing so well.
Have you got his goal record at Nice?
Well, he's only been there one season, 7 goals in 23. Not doing great. He did score 26. Oh, actually, in total, he scored 40 in about 90 games for Montpellier. So not fucking bad, yeah. Considering he didn't do anything for us. But yeah, I think it was such a bizarre one. Similar with Jack Hendry. I think I've got to say though, you've got to look at some of these players. First of all, when Wigan sign these players, Wigan were in the Premier League, in which case the physicality of the Premier League is completely different to League One, League One, let's say. It wasn't. It was a Championship. Delors was in the Championship, and Jack Hendry was in League One, our League One.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Jack Hendry got no chance. Andy Delors really didn't get much chance. But it was just a weird one because I was playing with him the other day, and for some reason he's fucking really good on Ultimate Team. I was like, fucking Andy Delors, what a fucking player. And then in my head I was like, it was so weird that FIFA's so miles off in reality. He was terrible at Wigan, but never mind.
Mate, he's class now. He just didn't like pies, mate. I think that's what it was.
Well, yeah, maybe that might be the issue.
He's just a scumbag. He's just a pastryist.
Before we start talking about rivalries and maybe even United City rivalry, which last time you wanted to stay away from, I'll go to the polls that I did, which we actually, honestly, we've had over 100 votes on this, which is quite impressive considering no one. Yeah. The first one got the main one. All I asked was Wigan versus Bolton, who's going to win. 54% went with Wigan, so Wigan's took the edge on that one. Only 40% Bolton, 5% draw. That got 75 votes, which I was quite impressed with. So yeah, most expecting Wigan to beat Bolton tomorrow afternoon. Then Wolves versus Villa. Villa won that one, even though Villa are on the back of 2 defeats. So more people fancy Villa on that one.
That's an interesting one because I'd fancy Wolves in that one personally.
Yeah, 58 votes on that one. This one didn't get really that many votes, but Rangers did win the majority. And if you weren't getting a dodgy haircut, Carl would be buzzing with that if he was here.
If he was here, which he's still got a sick note from the last 3 podcasts.
Yeah,
so.
I'm pretty sure he's making this up as he goes along. You know what I mean? He just seems to be making it up. But yeah, I was having a look and it doesn't seem to be. I thought it'd be a lot easier researching this than it has been. But I had a little look to see where the first football rivalries have started, and a lot of it seems to be pointing towards the Northwest derby. Manchester United versus Liverpool, which I'm not. I feel like they'd be more before then, but apparently not. I thought maybe a Bolton Preston because Bolton Preston.
I would have agreed with you there, yeah, because obviously, technically speaking, weren't Bolton the first FA Cup winners?
Yeah, I thought it might be like that kind. That's what I thought it would be, but apparently so. It's the Northwest derby, so. Here's one for you, and this is an easiest way to gauge your opinion on derbies and rivalries. Who would you prefer to win the title this season, Man City or Liverpool?
I'd rather die. Rather just fucking...
I knew that kind of response was coming.
No, Dad.
You can't just sit on the fence and just say you'd rather die.
It's like you being strapped to a chair, somebody holding a Stanley knife against your bollocks and saying, which one do you want to lose, left or right? Well, why the fuck would you want to choose between that? That's what do you want? Do you want AIDS or cancer?
Either way, you've got to choose. Come on, you can't just sit on the fence.
No, defend it. Stick a load of spikes in the fence and shut up my ass because fucking honestly, why would you want to choose this? I think one thing from my perspective is that the biggest rivalry for me as a United fan in football is Liverpool. Which I'll kind of come back to when you bring it up, but I'd never edge a team. These things with even the little things with rivalry. Like I can't bring myself to watch them 2 clubs. No. It's like say if they're on the telly and somebody says, it's like I've got mates at United. I'd say, oh yeah, City are running a pub. You coming down watch it? I'm a fuck. No, but I don't want to watch that. I don't want to see him do that. You call it bitter and petty, yeah, it's fine, but I wouldn't want to. I don't want to watch fucking Liverpool or City. I'd say, you all right?
Oh, you I don't know. You were breaking up a little second then. Do you I got every other word. He was like up.
No, I'm still here. No, but no. It's like going to the pub and stuff. Someone would say oh yeah, Liverpool are playing Villa, and are you watching at a pub? I'm a fuck. No, I don't. Why the fuck would I? And that, to be honest, before people call me out, that would have been prior to United being shite and Liverpool doing really well. Yeah, I won't want to watch Liverpool in 2005. Fucking nobody did, to be fair. But I won't want to watch them anytime. And it'd be the same with City. Nobody wanted to watch them in 2005. But I won't want to watch them anyway because they're my biggest rivals. So for me, rivalry-wise, I mean, Liverpool and City, and Leeds as well. There's no. There's no. I don't want to watch those games. But it's little things like that.
All right. I'll give you an easier question that'll make you probably happier. But either against City or against Liverpool, what's your favourite Derby Day memory?
My favourite Derby Day memory? Fucking hell, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Do you know which one always comes to mind when I talk about this? Van Persie's free kick in the last minute that took a nip off Samir Nasri. And that was that game had such a pivotal moment on the title race as well. Because City had a very good team. City had won the Premier League already at this point.
Yeah.
So that was a massive one. Another one was John O'Shea scoring absolute slapper in front of the cop. Fucking loved it. Last minute, 1-0. John O'Shea absolutely rifles one into the roof of the net. Sends us all into fucking mayhem, sir. Honestly,
I think
God.
You know what's weird with me? My memory seems to blank with United versus City, but with United versus Liverpool, there seems to be just some funny moments, like the John O'Shea, and also was it Diego Forlan scored two?
Yeah,
like two terrible goals.
Forlan scored two as well. Yeah, because Dudek foot one up. Yeah,
oh, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of United fans will say that's their favourite as well.
Yeah,
because I think with that as well, Diego Forlan had got a lot of stick with how shite he was at that time.
Yeah.
And he got so much stick, turns up at Anfield, whacks two in. Obviously, one of them was a shite goal, to be fair. Scores two against your biggest rivals, goes down in United history as a legend. Just for that, he didn't have much power, not much. He scored goals, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like it goes back to like I was saying about David Bellion. He wasn't exactly United, football legend, but it just United would be winning like 3-0. Bellion would come on, we'd make sure he won 4-0. He'd just come on when we didn't need it. But yeah, that was a that's a big one. There's other ones as well. It's just some of the one matter against
bicycle kick.
Yeah, that bicycle kick from Di Maria's crotch. Oh mate, that was unbelievable that day.
That they were popping in my head, but when it comes to City, the only one that really sticks in my head, like from a more of a neutral stance, is the Wayne Rooney overhead kick against City.
Yeah, that was a massive moment. That was a massive moment. Again, United that season though. I mean, Champions League finalists in that season as well. Funny enough, only to be beaten by Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, ironically. But again, massive. United in those seasons, your late 90s, early 90s, fucking hell, some of the best hit, and then 2008. So just a vote, but you've got to keep them because obviously when you look at it now and it's very far from that. But that's football, isn't it? But yeah, there's some big United and City though. I'd say it's a City lads. That we both know so well because we live in East Manchester. It's like you've got to remember that United and City have a very. Do you know what I'd say? I'd say like Liverpool United have definitely had the better of it, I think, over the last 2 decades. I think United have definitely been the better team. But with United and City, it's just back and forth. You can't, just because, City was shy at one point, United were great. City would turn up at Old Trafford and turn United over.
Yeah, it's true.
And then at the same point, United is shy, but then United will go to the Etihad and turn City over. That's in my head. That's how it kind of seems with City and United. Like when I think of recent times with United and City, it seems like whoever's doing the shittest seems to pull it out of the bag. I think Sean Wright-Phillips, 2 goals that stick in me for that one. Sean Wright-Phillips keeping it on the right flank and banging one top bins like against Barthez or something. Sean Goater with Gary Neville, and then is it Scott McTominay when he was off his line? Edison was off his line recently. Not that recent, but it's like Ben Jarney. Ben Jarney'd always score against United. Why? Just fuck off. But that's what I mean. It just there was those players that you would think, United's team as well. Fuck me. I mean, United's team at that point. Your Rooney's, Berbatov, Ronaldo, Tevez, to be fair, Scholes, amazing players, Vidic, and then City's team would be Darius Vassell, fucking, I don't know, Craig Bellamy, Ben Jarney up front with like fucking, I don't know, who else? Petrov in midfield. They just go and turn United over at Old Trafford. Just like, are you taking the piss? You're taking the fucking piss.
I mean, see this kind of football rivalry. I think it's, even though it's a topic that's interesting, I think it's harder for me because I don't think I see that side of football because of where we live, and I only know Bolton fans, and the most Bolton fans I know I'm friends with, and I think because I don't live in the city, or I don't live in the town, should I say, I don't really feel that, and I don't ever get the vibe that these are our rivals. Like, I never really. I'd say the only one where it sticks out in my head are either when we beat them 5-2 a few seasons ago, or when we beat them 4-0 this season. 4-0 this season for me was just like, we had that. I was saying this the other day. We have that Jimmy Mack bonus, and I'm hoping it comes again tomorrow. The Jimmy Mack bonus that when he plays against a team that he don't like or gets him going, and the fans are on his back booing him, calling him a fucking cunt. James McLean, mate, he ups his game. That was the best
Yeah.
performance I've seen all season. That he fucking slaughtered him. 2 goals and an assist, and he fucking slaughtered him.
I remember you saying this about him being a big game player.
Yeah, he does.
But
Cups his ears to the fans and just fucking smashes it.
yeah, I know. This is why I want United to sign Jude Bellingham, but never mind. But yeah, but it's just one of the. It's like the United Liverpool. Obviously, I know Scousers know me, so yeah, and we get on it. It's all right, but yeah, I wouldn't dream of speaking to him on that match day. The same way I see like United City. Me and you obviously know plenty of City lads. Do you know what I mean? But I won't speak to him on Derby day.
No,
I won't speak to him on Derby day.
See, I don't think I'd really
see, the thing is as well, I won't rub it in as well if we win. Because
Yeah,
come back to you. So I'll just enjoy it. I'll just get stuck in, get smashed
See,
up,
yeah, I
celebrate
think-
the day. I'm not one of these petty fans who have got a message me like, nah, fucking yeah, beat you, stuff like that. Fucking hell. Just enjoy it. Just get tanked up, get smashed, or do whatever you want to do and just enjoy it. Like, I don't get it. But if United beat City or United beat Liverpool, I'm buzzing. Like I'm absolutely buzzing. Like I just want to go out and get smashed with my lads and stuff like that. But but it's just how you celebrate it. But some people just think the way they enjoy it is just messaging people. I don't get it. It's just weird. It's got a very, to me, it's got a very modern day fan concept about it, where I'm just like, nah, not for me, no way. I'm gonna bask in the glory. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna sing plenty of United chants. I'm gonna just enjoy the moment. I'm not gonna message someone next door to me who's a blue, go haha, but you didn't know. It's just weird. Just it's just not how I enjoy it. Some people love doing that shit. It's not for me.
For me, it's a weird one for me because I think our kind of experiences with football in general are a bit different because yours are more physical and people you actually know. Mine's kind of all online. I go to the games with my missus, so I don't really get. And now and again I go with my dad, but he's not a Wigan fan. He don't really follow football that much. He just loves football. He wouldn't really have a team. Well, he probably would say he's more of a United fan these days anyway, but he wouldn't really. He's not like a massive United. You know what I mean? He don't go to games and blah blah blah. But he'll come to a Wigan game and I go with Missy. So I feel like most of the fans I know are Wigan fans. So it's all online. And now and again, when I see it, they'll give Bolton fans shit. And I'm like, we could still lose this game. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, don't say anything too soon. Like after the game, fair enough. But before the game, like, be humble for now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't want to do that. And rivalry's big no matter what. I know you're saying, obviously you live in East Manchester and obviously Wigan and Bolton, you might not see the side effects of that rivalry, but at the end of the day, there's still rivalry there. So, and it's like, I won't see the full side effects of United v Liverpool. But I know I despise them because I was brought up to despise them. So, I know I hate them. I know I hate them. But and that's how much in some cases football means to people. You just have that thing when United play Liverpool. Honestly, there's something in it for me, and I just I just want United to slap them every time and just put them in the place because I just fucking hate them. But that's just that's good. That's healthy rivalry.
Yeah.
But just because you said that, then I do want to ask you something. I was going to ask you so if your dad, I don't know, obviously he's not into his football. Where did Wigan come about for you? Where's this like? How did you get through?
All I remember is that I remember being a United fan. I'll hold my hands up. I was a United fan when I was a kid. For God knows how many years. I used to go around and watch football, blah blah.
Can I just insert? I didn't know DJ as a kid, so I can't be blamed for this, by the way. But carry on.
I did. I went to Old Trafford a good few times. Went to my first ever game at Old Trafford. I remember mentioning that. Was it on this podcast I mentioned that? It was, I think, United beat Everton maybe 4-0. Quinton Fortune scored. Scholes scored 2. It was very
amazing. Quinton Fortune is actually the kind of player that I would have expected to pull the World Cup draw out. Just one of random players that makes about 3 caps and just sends up on the fucking way. Do you know what he had on the draw, actually? He had Jermaine Genius on the draw. I personally don't remember Jermaine Genius having that many caps. Correct me if I'm wrong. Someone's going to be laughing at me if he's had like fucking plus 20, 30 caps.
Maybe 5, 6. I couldn't have that many.
Yeah, well, guess what? He was fucking co-hosting that World Cup draw then. He had about 3 caps. You know, you could go to some Saudi Arabian player that's got more caps than that. He'd be more entitled to stand on that stage than that fucker.
Yeah, it's
How's he
true.
got there? He does not even deserve that gig. I'm sorry, he don't.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Yeah, but after that though, I think when I went to high school, I don't remember really liking football that much. I did start kind of following Wigan though. I remember following them in the Championship, like old Division One, just before they came up, and I'd follow them a bit, and that was mainly due to Soccer AM. I think though it weren't as if I was proper into it. I just started following them a little bit, and I'd seen a few things I liked them because they had a lot of characters like Jimmy Bullard and like Lee McCulloch, and these were proper like having a bit of a laugh and stuff. So I think I was drawn to that a bit more. And then even though I was still watching United, but I weren't watching them like I had a passion and I loved them. It was just like I just followed the results a bit. I think when I was a kid, I did. I remember getting upset a few times when United lost. I remember celebrating in the streets like of Manchester when they won the treble. I went to that like bus parade, blah blah. So I do remember some stuff like when I was a kid, but I remember kind of just leaving football for probably 2-3 years, which is enough time for me to just be like, yeah, I'm done with football. I didn't really like it. But then once I went to high school, I just started getting more and more into it. And then I was like, right, I'm watching Wigan and United at the same time. Then all of a sudden, probably like, I don't know, the first season Wigan were in the Premier League, towards the end of that, I cared so much more about Wigan staying up than United winning the league. And then after a bit, I was just like, no, I clearly like Wigan more because I was getting upset when Wigan lost. I didn't really give a shit when United lost. Yeah. So then I just kind of followed Wigan from there, really.
It's weird how it falls, isn't it? I think it's all different. I think, so like myself, it was bred into me to follow United. My family was, and obviously they'd gone to, my dad had been going since 60s, 70s, and then my half brothers were going more often than not. I obviously then caught the hitch and started doing it myself. And it's just one of them. The whole family on my dad's side, let's say, is United. In fact, to be fair, even on my mum's side, the whole family's United. So there was always that, there was never any other way for me. Especially it's weird, being born technically like a stone's throw away from the Etihad. I suppose people would feel, well, that's a bit odd. But now my family was always. The funny thing is, my family on both sides is it's known as Beswick now, but Beswick used to be known as part Bradford, part Beswick, and that is effectively where City's ground is now. So the funny thing is, how I would have come through United from that was interesting. But my family's from both kind of like the Bradford, Beswick area and Droylsden. It's weird. Obviously, and these are all places which are all around, City's ground effectively. So it's interesting. But I think it was bred into me from an early age, and just that I think United obviously I was blessed as a kid. I got to see a lot of glorious moments, even moments that are annoying, but yeah, it was amazing. I'm not one of these fans. I've never give up on United. United now, as a description, will be like a second job. You don't want to watch it. You don't, but you drag yourself to it. And it's a weird description, I know, but I can't not watch United. I say to my missus all the time, I can't not watch United. I'm sorry, you do whatever you want to do, but I can't not watch United. I need to see what's going on. I'm
the same. I'm full of the same. I think when we was going through administration last season, I remember saying to her a few times, like, I'll just turn my phone off. I'll come off Twitter for a few. I remember saying it on Twitter actually, like, I'm coming off Twitter until the deal's done and we're back out of administration. I was probably back on it within like 2 weeks because I just had to know what was going on with the club. I was like, please, somebody tell me what's going on. Like, it's so hard to stay away if you want to just. I don't think I ever could now. I think I'm just dug in now. Until death, I think I'll be just dug in with Wigan now. I can't imagine a day when I don't check what's happening at Wigan.
Yeah. But it's nice. It's nice to have allegiance to a club, and you made a point before. The people I've met with United through my season ticket and stuff like that. I've had some of the best times in my life. But I remember us getting like 60-seater coaches to games on a regular basis, and You know, especially but one of the standout seasons, and especially my lads for United would always remember when Dave Moyes took charge of United. So this was the second season that I was going United regular. So before Sir Alex Ferguson's first season, I would say I went very irregular because one, I couldn't afford it, and two, the opportunity was never there. So I don't get me wrong, I went to other football games, but I could never go and see United, and that was always the one I wanted to do. Of course, 'cause it was the club that I loved. And then Dave Moyes' season happens, and United are shy. I mean, I remember the first game we got an introduction of this fucking shitness was when Saido Berahino, by the way, whose career has absolutely collapsed.
He's in League One now. He's in League One with Wigan. He's not with Wigan, but I think he plays for Sheff Wednesday in League One now.
Yeah, well, he was shy. Anyway, United made him look like an absolute wonder kid at Old Trafford. So United lost 2-1 at home to West Brom. And I remember that because I just stood there thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you know, we had some good players as well. And we got turned over by West Brom. And that was like the introduction of madness, if you like, just like when it all started going to pot. But every time we'd have 60 lads on that coach and we'd go back to East Manchester and just be like, get in, you know, we'll just get smashed, fuck it, win or lose, we'll just get mashed. And it was, don't get wrong, it wasn't great for my health, but I had a belting time, like every time, like, you know, we got, and that was the thing, it wasn't just me though, everybody else was, you know, the same, all the lads
same,
were
exact
like,
same.
you know,
it's a massive culture of football, that though. I think like it's a huge, it feels like a family because you're all being tortured by the same devil.
Yeah, we've had that's it, isn't it? That's what I love about it. You've had the same successes and the same losses.
Exactly.
I think United. I think the big, and not in a disrespectful way to other clubs, but I think big clubs will always carry that. You know, when United go away, you don't see an empty seat just because they're playing shite. You know, you see them turn up everywhere, home and away, no matter what. You know, and it's you know, certain clubs just have that. Do you know what I mean? And I think United just carried that because no matter what, there'll always be the same lads there, and they can think, do you know what? You know, we got spanked 3-0 off fuck knows maybe Rubin Kazan in Russia the other day in the Europa League, but fuck it, we'll have a good time, won't we?
Yeah.
So there's always that. You know, I don't know why I said Rubin.
Well,
I don't know if that was a Wigan link because I know Wigan.
Hey mate, I was about to bring that. That's someone Wigan have even played in Europe. We played Rubin Kazan. Can't really remember it now. I remember being pissed off that whole thing. I'm pretty sure. Oh, what happened? I'm not sure if we got sort of conceded a pen or something stupid happened, but we got knocked out over like something ridiculous. And if we'd gone through, we'd have had an away day at Seville, and it's just like, oh, come on. But I think we had Rubin Kazan and Maribor. I can't remember who the third team was, but we had a good chance of going through. Nick Powell, first time round on loan. But I wanted to. I thought we'd jump into talking about the three games. The reason that this is like a derby-based game, we'll go with the first game, and I think I might be biased with the first game because it's Wigan versus Bolton. I wanted to get your opinion on who you think he's going to win out of these three games, but go first. And I'm going to say Wigan, but I'm not as confident as a lot of Wigan fans on this. I really don't think I'm as confident. Bolton do play an attacking style, and Sunderland play an attacking style, and Sunderland out, like, you know, they did do us, like, they beat us 3-0 not too long ago. And I feel like if we're not on our game, then it's going to be a tricky game. And I feel like they've got nothing to play for. The mid-table, they're not realistically going to get playoffs. They're definitely not going to go down, whilst all the pressure's on us. And I'm bricking myself for tomorrow afternoon, not going to lie. But I'd see if you think you're going to win.
No, I think you've got to remember Wigan have got games in hand. And the fact of the matter is, I didn't expect Rotherham to get turned over at home the other day.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's true.
Because of how solid they were in recent fixtures. So to see, who was it against as well? I can't remember.
Shrewsbury.
Exactly. Shrewsbury haven't had a great season this season.
Yeah.
And to get turned over by no disrespect Shrewsbury, but that.
Shrewsbury, they've got MK Dons away this week, so hopefully they'll do us another favour and turn MK Dons over as well.
But honestly, you never know when the time to spark revival is. I always felt as a United fan, whenever there was a managerial change at a club that we were about to play, we'd get spanked off that team.
Yeah.
and you never know when that is, and that's what can happen. But that Wigan have got games in hand here, and that's in their favour. When they catch up, it'll be in all their minds. Every player will know before they go out on that pitch. Win today, we go top and stuff like that. Is that accurate? I don't know. I don't know the league off by
No,
heart.
it's we would. If we win tomorrow, we'll go top with still a game in hand as well. So winning tomorrow would be huge. We'd be 2 points clear with a game in hand that we play on the Tuesday. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we'd still be a game in hand after that on MK Dons, which is crazy.
And how many games have been played in the season? Is it 40 now? Am I right?
Well, it's different for everyone. This is how mad it is. Rotherham have played 39. We've played 37, and MK Dons have played 39. But Rotherham, they play that Johnston's Paint Trophy this weekend.
Okay.
And I don't think they have a midweek game planned in either. So by the time we next play, we might have played 39, and Rotherham have played 39. But MK Dons, I think, play at least at the weekend, so they would have still played 40. So in an ideal world, we'll win both, and we could be 5 points clear with 6 games to go, which would be 7 games to go for us, but 6 games to go for everybody else. So
I just think that, yes, I get that. I've probably seen that. Wigan fans have probably said the pressure's on them and not with Bolton, but at the same time, this is a rival game. I get that it's not, probably there is less pressure on Bolton. I get that, but surely after the season they've had, they owe it to the fans to try and win that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So are they saying there's no pressure? Because I personally don't agree. I don't think there's as much pressure on them with the fact of where the positions stand, and obviously league tables speak, but I don't think for 1 minute they can't say it's not. Do you know what the equivalent that is? I'm not saying it's the same magnitude, but it's like saying United are mid-table, they're playing Liverpool, and there's no pressure on United.
Yeah, true.
Of course there is.
Very, very true.
Of course there is.
Very true.
So I don't really agree with that. Who would I go with? It's tricky. I'd probably go with a draw personally.
Yeah.
The reason being, I get Wigan. It's like you were saying to me the other day when I was at your I get Wigan style of play isn't as glamorous as maybe say Bolton, Sunderland in that league. But we've seen how well they've done because of this glamour football, and the only team that's managed to kind of really pull it off this season in League One is probably MK Dons, isn't it? Really, in the grand scheme of things. Now, I don't know. I'd probably go with a draw personally. I'm not sitting on the fence.
That's fair.
I just think it's a derby day. I think both teams will be up for it. I think as well, I know it sounds daft, but I think it depends on team selection. I always felt United sometimes when you wanted the right players to play, the manager would just think, oh, no, do you know what, fuck that, I'll pick the other one instead.
Yeah, well, I mentioned...
And it's like, if Wigan don't start James McLean in that game, it's like, for fuck's sake,
I think we will. I mentioned this. I think for me the tricky thing is the last 3 or 4 games we've gone for a back 5 with James McLean at left wing back. I think that we should go back to a back 4 and push him up the field just for that little bonus that he's going to be fucking mint again at left wing, because he just seems to fucking revel in these kind of games.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think it depends on the team selection. But yeah, I'd have to say, if I'm guessing, I'd have to say a draw. Say a draw. But,
moving on. The next one, midday tomorrow, Wolves v Villa. Not exactly the biggest rivalry in that region, but definitely the biggest Premier League rivalry in that region. Both 8th and 9th, pretty much it's 8th and 9th, but Wolves are 10 points ahead of Villa in the league. And Villa have lost the last 2. So I personally would go with Wolves on that one.
I just think Wolves. I think Molineu's a really tough place to go. I really do. I'd definitely have to go.
They kind of know, they're similar Wolves, I think. They kind of know frills, they seem to get the job done. They don't seem to have any striker who scores any goals, but they seem to win games, which is bizarre.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because Raul Jimenez was that man, and then obviously his injury kind of changed it. But I think with Wolves, not only have they got technical ability in the midfield, they've got quality going up the park in terms of counter-attacking and things like that. And I just think certain players can uncover some great situations against any team as well. Wolves have challenged the likes of City and Liverpool, who by far the last couple of years have been the best teams in the Premier League. But they've taken the game to them as well. They've not just took part. Do you know when you see teams just take part in a game, it's like turn up, fuck off, but, didn't expect anything. Well, I don't really think Wolves have been that. I think Wolves have been like, they've always challenged to, especially against United. But yeah, they definitely turn up every time, and some of the players they've got are absolutely brilliant. Ruben Neves obviously doesn't need any introduction, but it's like that. It's like in the midfield. They've got Den Donker, good holding midfielder. Ruben Neves, technically brilliant. Trinchao.
Trincao, I like Trincao. It's very good player.
Daniel Podence, really good.
I like is it Huang as well? That Huang,
Huang Yi-chan. Yeah, so he was another one of them Salzburg players that got picked up. So obviously, if you remember last season, or season before, Salzburg had Erling Haaland, Patson Daka, obviously at Leicester, and Huang Yi-chan. That was their front 2-3.
Yeah, it's great.
That just worked amazingly, and then they did really well.
Talking of Wolves, and we don't talk about Wolves often, but who's kind of let the fucking football manager let us all down, let the society down? He's been Fabio Silva so far.
Oh,
fuck me, is he not the best player on fucking Football Manager? Jesus, he's not been great so far.
But again, did he seem given many starting opportunities? I mean, I thought obviously
he did get some. I think when Jimenez was properly injured, he did get a good run of games, but he doesn't start that much. No, granted, he don't really start too much. I think he's only scored 2 goals though for him so far.
Yeah, he's been poor, especially after such a good youth career with Porto as well. I mean, you kind of just expected big things, didn't you? And I personally, and I'm sure most people would have agreed at the time, I thought that was a great signing for Wolves.
Yeah,
I thought it was a phenomenal signing. And do you know what though? Sometimes players are late bloomers as well. So
true, very true.
I think it could be one of them where maybe it's not great right now, but as a matter of time, game by game by game, time by time, if he picks it up, and it can all just be to confidence. Maybe once he gets his first one, he starts flying.
True. Get a run of games, get a goal.
I think for Fabio Silva's perspective, he doesn't look very physical, and the Premier League is very physical. And if he gets physicality and technique right, he's onto a winner. But he doesn't look physically capable yet, in my opinion. He doesn't look like an aggressive player. He certainly, I think, defenders will look at him and think, I've got this kid in a bag all day, no problem. No, I'm not bothered.
That's true.
Whereas I think when he starts scoring a couple of goals, that mindset will differ. His confidence will grow. And then it's the flip. Then when he's looking at defenders thinking of flip back.
Have you seen the goals he has scored though? He took them both really well, and so you can see that he's definitely got that about him where he will try something to score a goal. So he's a good player, but like you said, I think it is a bit more about physicality and the defender knowing I can get a grip of this lad and he's gonna go nowhere. But to finish on the derby weekend, we've got the Old Firm Sunday, Old Firm. And I think Carl would be perfect for this, but again, he's disappeared. Rangers v Celtic, obviously. One of the longest historic and probably one of the fiercest as well, because it's got a lot more history to it than your average just rivalry as well.
As far as rivalry goes, that I mean, United Liverpool has a bit of everything for me, but that has the complete everything. It's got location, both in the same city. It's got success. Both teams are extremely successful. It's got tragedy. Both teams have had tragedy. It's got religious involvement.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got also religion.
It's got so many things involved. There's political divide. There's been in civilization split. I mean, if you're talking about Belfast and how involved they are with both them two teams, I mean, it's got everything, hasn't it? I think that's probably one of the most, not in a good or bad way. It's up to you to decide that, but it literally has everything, doesn't it? I mean, I look at United Liverpool. It's got success, tragedy, location, city, right? Who's got the better city, even music to a degree with United and Liverpool, but Manchester
What?
would
That's an easy win for Manchester.
Yeah, but
Guys,
this is
what?
what I'm saying is, listen, I agree with you, but this is what they're saying. This is why I don't agree with.
I can only name like 3 bands from Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly.
The Beatles, the Lars.
They think they've got a better music scene than we have.
Oh, that's outrageous! Jesus Christ!
You go to Liverpool and ask them what they think of you. They go their city's got better music than we have.
Oh, wow.
It's ridiculous.
Right, are you talking bands or are you talking?
Oh, the what, mate? Bands, fucking you name it, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, if we're talking bands, then fuck me. I mean, I honestly, I question
that's outrageous.
I question my existence if they think.
Mate, there's some bands that a lot of people don't think of that are even linked to Man. Even if you counted bands that are just linked and either met or they only formed because of Manchester, the Chemical Brothers met in Manchester, and I think one of them is from Manchester as well, or like nearby. So that's a band that people don't even think of. And
Listen,
the Killers,
DJ,
the Killers only exist because they met at an Oasis gig. So we can bank on the Killers to join us as well. And then I know they're not a great band, but still we can play them.
I'm not being funny, but we're not claiming loose strings here. We don't need to. We've got plenty of fucking good bands. We don't need to. If Liverpool want to do that, that's fine. They can try and get up to our pace. But
no chance. I mean,
don't
get me wrong. I get the football rivalry, and I like Liverpool as a city. Don't get me wrong. I've been there a few times. I enjoy it. I'll enjoy the night out. I enjoy the docks because it's a nice place. Don't get me wrong, but to compare like feats, like come on, man, Manchester fucking split the atom, made the first computer, the Industrial Revolution. Do you know what I mean? Come on.
You're talking to me as if I'm the founder of this.
Yeah, well,
not.
Yeah, it's true. He got me all riled up then. As if it's like the first time I'd heard it.
Listen, I've heard all this shit before. You're here as a new participant to this conversation, but I've heard this shit before, or I've seen it maybe on Twitter and then conversed it in a pub and stuff like that. No, honestly, this is a fact. This is the things where rivalries is based from. So
I suppose so.
As well. But
yeah, well, it's a weird one that though. It's especially strange to compare music. Like, I imagine they probably try and bring up number ones, but it's like if you have look at influence in general on music.
What does a number one matter now? Have you seen that?
Yeah, exactly.
For the last 10 years, and maybe more, number one music has been wank, and I've never had any desire to listen to chart music in my life. Never in a million,
But in terms of absolute just class bands, like. Fucking hell! They've literally got the Beatles. They've got the Beatles. The Lars are half decent, but I can only name maybe 1 or 2 songs from the Lars. It's like, apart from the Beatles, there's probably more. I'm just being a bit harsh. I think is it who else? I don't know. I'm not massive on the Liverpool music scene, but compared to like Joy Division, New Order, Stone Roses, Smiths, do you know what I mean? James, Oasis. It's like, what? Come on.
I mean. Do you know what? You could take half them bands. You could take half our top bands out. We'd still slap them. That's my opinion. Honestly, there's no doubt, absolutely no doubt about it. I think, honestly, I can't even get my words out because of how embarrassing that conversation is. But believe me, that conversation happens. It fucking happens.
Right. Yeah, well, they were the conversation we were supposed to be having. I don't know how we even got there. I think you said one thing and my head just exploded.
What I'm saying is that's rivalry, isn't it? So going back to what you're saying about Rangers and Celtic, there's much more involved. Success of both football clubs, right? Same city who owns a city with both football clubs. Tragedy with both football clubs. Political divide, religious divide with both. Again, there's a lot more. To them games than not disrespect to all league football, but they don't have to say all league football generally depends on the same town, city, or
it's a pretty basic,
and that's it's just basic rivalry. Whereas United, I think for me, United, Liverpool, and Celtic, Rangers goes way beyond that.
It does.
The two of the biggest rivalries in world football. Absolutely. I don't.
Who we having then? I've not got much on these two because I don't follow it that much, but let's just put it this way. Rangers and Celtic win every week, so the form doesn't really matter because they both seem to win week in, week out. I think the last time they played, I remember, I'm sure Celtic won like 3-0, 4-0 maybe.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, but
Right.
it's those kind of comments that get people not to listen to your podcast. It makes it sound like fuck all. So
I don't know anything.
Just a fact. DJ don't know fuck all about football.
Well, yeah, that's the general consensus.
No, I think just going to obviously, Rangers have, don't get me wrong, they've not been terrible, but Celtic have certainly at form. I think that recent win, 3-0, 4-0, can't remember, but it was definite. It was a very dominant victory for Celtic. Something I don't know. I think obviously with Rangers losing Gerrard as a manager, I still think there's some impact from that, because I don't think the performances have been quite dominant from Rangers under Giovanni van Bronckhorst. But I don't. This is the thing. I think about United City in these scenarios, and the unfavoured team could sometimes win. And in most cases, it would. And I don't know why, but I think because of that absolute drumming that Celtic gave Rangers, I kind of almost feel like Rangers have to come back to this. I did see this morning on Twitter that they are missing Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, for the season as well.
On the flip side of that, he did score against Celtic. He has scored against Celtic in recent years, but he didn't, scored often against Celtic. So I'd go Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I think my heart would go with Rangers, because I feel like I like Rangers more. I don't know why. I don't have a clue why. Just something about Rangers. You know what? It's probably Carl lads. So just drumming into my head that Rangers are a better club. So I'm kind of going, yeah, Rangers.
There's definitely so. This is another thing as well with regards to rivalry. Right? Clearly, Celtic and I always hear that conversation around Celtic and Rangers joining the Premier League, but there's still fans around. Like Greater Manchester, for example. Greater Manchester is a big place, and I saw a guy today walking around with a full Rangers tracksuit on. Do you know what I mean?
It seems very
East
bad,
Manchester. You've got two big clubs. You've got United and City. You've got plenty of local clubs around, which are pretty big. Wigan, Oldham, Rochdale, Stockport.
Nice.
I
love the version of Bolton. Then I love that he didn't mention him there.
Oh, but no, I did. Got
lots of big clubs like Wigan. There's only one.
Stoking it up for the big day. Come on.
There's loads of massive clubs in. Manchester, like Wigan and not Bolton.
No, you can't exclude Bolton. Fucking hell. Speaking of which, guess who was on that World Cup tour? JJ Kocher is getting about at the minute. I'm not seeing him in ages. I've seen him for like 5 times in the last 3 days.
Honestly, I try and rev up my rivalry against Bolton, then I just think of JJ Kocher. I'm like, I fucking loved that player. Just as a singular player, I just fucking love him. I can't not like him. It's hard to not like him.
It was just amazing. I remember, do you know what came up on my social media the other day? That Johan Elmander goal against Wolves.
Yeah, that goal. That's a sweet goal. It's a nice goal. Do
you know what? That's the closest goals that Dennis Bergkamp goal.
It's
just from the silk. Just
it's just silk. It is nice.
I know that's like a really dumb approach to a great goal. Like, that's silk. But like, it just quality when you see it, and that just for the moment. Imagine scoring that in a big stadium. You just fucking flip. I'd take my fucking boot off and launch it into the fans. You flip. You just sorry, I can't remember.
I can't remember. Did I even give my result? I think I'm going to go Celtic. I think that's what I was saying. Yeah, Celtic. Even though my heart was kind of saying Rangers. No, my heart was saying Rangers, but my head's saying Celtic. I think off form and going off the way they played last time out, I'd like to say Celtic. They seem to be I think they've just pipped Rangers this season. But yeah, I think if you ask me who I'd prefer to win, I'd probably say Rangers. If I had to watch that game and think like, who would I hope win, I'd probably say Rangers. But my head does say Celtic. If I was going to put a bet on, I'd probably say Celtic.
I think the thing is with that fixture, and I don't know if I'm right in saying this, so people of Glasgow can correct me if I'm wrong, but that fixture recently, there always seems to be one predominant team. Mm-hmm. Like it's never like a cagey affair. I can't remember seeing like a 2-1 in that game or something. it seems like 3-0 Rangers, and then next season it's bleeding 2-0 Celtic, or,
Yeah.
or 3-0 Celtic. It doesn't seem to be like a cagey affair. Just one team seems to go and swap the other. But
Yeah.
the players don't rotate. They don't change much. So Celtic had big changes after last season, after Rangers winning the title. Obviously, they went to Japan and signed 2 or 3 players, Patate and, a couple of others. I can't remember the names, but I don't, the squads are still the same. The bulk of the squad's still the same. So it always seems a bit weird to me how one team can go and swap the other like 3-0, and in the next season the other team swaps the one 3-0. It's just weird. I don't get it.
It's strange. No, you're not wrong. Another link, and coming full circle about probably one of the things we was talking about ages ago, is Rangers captain James Tavernier. His brother's called Marcus.
Yeah.
He used to play for Wigan again. Wigan signed him. We sold him to Rangers back when Rangers were in like Scottish League One or something. Another one we just had, and he ended up going to have a really decent career. Well, yeah. I
suppose one thing I'd ask you about that then is what point. I don't think obviously right now is the right time, and maybe not next season if Wigan do get promoted. I think it would take a lot, but have Wigan got that pull now where they can retain players rather than lose them, do you think? Or will that come in a few seasons' time, or can that happen now? What's the situation?
I think it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I think at the minute, the tricky thing is we're a desirable club to join at a certain level, because I think most clubs would realise, even if we don't go up this season, fingers crossed, it'd be a bit of a disaster if we don't go up by now. If we didn't go up this season, then I still think players would want to join and be like, they'll definitely go up. Once we get into the Championship, though, I do think we're not necessarily bigger, but structure-wise and in terms of finance, because of like our new takeover, I think we are probably bigger than a good handful of clubs in the Championship. And we'll be able to offer more money, because you've got to think we're debt-free, well, relatively debt-free compared to other clubs. So clubs won't be able to offer as much as we have to players. So I think that we will have some pull, and we'll definitely be able to retain some players. I think we'll just be wise about it. If we go up this season and someone comes in and says 10 million for Jack Watmo, as much as that would be a massive loss to us, 10 million's 10 million. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of money. If something daft like that happens,
I'm going to revert you back to a previous podcast that you did, and you mentioned that you could see him playing in the Premier League. I think if you're you're backing him with the quality of that, only getting 10 million would be a crime in modern day football.
I'll tell you now. Honestly, in terms of like Championship to Premier League, then they're the kind of deals you see. Really, it's only the strikers who go for a lot of money. The defenders and stuff, they seem to just get robbed. Really, we sold Dan Burn for probably like 6 million, rising to whatever. It just seems like if you're a striker and you do really well, then yeah, you can probably demand more. And then again, though, maybe clubs in the Championship are on their arse when clubs are kind of raiding them. Do you know what I mean? Whilst if we go up and we're debt free and we don't have to sell, then maybe we'll be like, no, fuck you, we want 20 mil. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we'd probably demand more. I'm happy with Wigan at the minute. Honestly, I am a bit nervous for tomorrow, but at the same time, like in the back of my head, I'm just going like, yeah, poke off, bowling. I know what I mean.
I think when there's so much at stake, and I think when you remember the position that Wigan were in last season, obviously it was crying out to survive, and they did that. Yeah, especially given the constraints are under, the amount of players they had from a youth setup. So the fact that they did was a very good result in itself. So then go to the point now where they've completely flipped it, had good recruitment policy for that league, and then turned it into a successful season where they could arguably been within a chance of winning the title. It's a phenomenal turnaround. You look at the likes of Portsmouth never came back, Sunderland never came back. Big clubs never came back from big downfalls. Wigan just seem to have mastered that. I think
we really have. I'm waiting for us to go up, because I'm like I was saying before about not getting over thingy about if we go up. But the fact of the matter will be, if we go up, that's this season, we've gone down through administration, stayed up through administration, and then gone straight back up. All the time that Sunderland have just sat there doing nothing in League One and just still not gone up.
By the way, I'm unbelievably delighted about, but carry on. I fucking hate them. Honestly, I absolutely hate
Yeah.
them. But yeah, no, it's what obviously Sunderland have got their own problems. I think in terms of just the ownership models have changed numerous times. The recruitment's been hit and miss. I'd certainly say most of it's been a miss. They've got their own problems, but they shouldn't. Realistically, Sunderland shouldn't be in League One.
They shouldn't.
Say the same with Portsmouth. Look at Bradford. Bradford shouldn't be in League Two.
Yeah, God, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy.
Crazy. Other call-outs, I mean, you look at like Coventry, how well they're doing, given how under the cosh they've been. The interesting part, I know people probably say Derby. Derby's an interesting one. I think people expect Derby to go down, but do you know what? I saw Neil Warnock make a good point about this a couple of weeks ago. And he actually said Wayne Rooney's got the most comfortable job in English football at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because his point being, and I have to agree with it, is if Derby loses as expected, no one's like, "Oh, you're terrible. Why have you lost that game?" But if they win, it's remarkable.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I hope they get a buyer, but part of me is like, just you might as well like. I think they'll go down. I think it's too much hard work now. I think the players are out on the feet a bit now, and it's a bit like, no, it's too much. I can imagine going down, but I do hope they get everything sorted. I hope they get a buyer.
Yeah, this is another thing I want to pick up on another podcast is the finances in football. I think it's I saw the other day that Bury are coming back. They've got Gig Lane back, so that's that's again another club in Greater Manchester that suffered financial turmoil. But yeah, good to see them come back. They actually won their league a week or two ago. So kind of same division as Abbey A. But yeah, no, they're on the comeback, so that's good. But yeah, the fact you can't have clubs like that just go into pot. But you look at go a bit further down. Obviously like Curzon Ashton's not far from us. Look at the teams in that league though. York.
Yeah,
York.
yeah.
Fylde had big investment in they were due to they had league ambitions and they collapsed. That was another one. Darlington built that new ground, never came back and demised since that. That was another interesting one. Hereford are in that league as well. Again, another previous league team. That's on its way back, I must say, because they went through turmoil, didn't it? But same as Darlington, to be fair. A lot of big clubs, and I've not even mentioned.
I think I'd say the biggest clubs like down there. I'd say definitely Stockport. Like that, like a huge club to be like dwindling around.
Oh well, yeah. Notts County, obviously they've not been in the league for a bit. They shouldn't be down there. Chesterfield, you could argue as well. Shouldn't be down there. Wrexham.
Oh wait, no, they should be. Oh, I didn't even say. When I was at the stag do last week, when I got drunk, made a bit of a fool myself. But I started drinking probably about 1 o'clock or something, and I put a bet on with my like semi-sober state. It was like a 15-fold, my typical 50 pence fucking bet. All right, 4,500 to 1. Chesterfield let me down, 2.5 grand. I looked at it the next day, right? I'd already spent more than I was hoping for. So, yeah, this is why I'm saying Chesterfield, no, get fucked. You stay down there forever. Honestly, I woke up the next day thinking, I spent well too much. And I looked at my settled bets, and I just seen it. I was scrolling down, and it just said, Chesterfield let me down. I thought, oh my fucking God. And I couldn't even cash out because I was unaware. I just put the bet on, put my phone in my pocket, and, carried on drinking, having a decent time. But fucking hell. Depressing.
To be fair, it's better that way, because imagine if you were keeping tabs on that throughout the day and you're thinking, fuck me, I'm going to win shitloads of money. Can I
tell another quick story? I won't give any names because he told me not to say anything, and I think he's probably a bit gutted about it anyway. Someone I know, he put a bet on another one, like probably a 15-fold in £10, £7,000 returns, but it was all easy teams, so you'd expect it to kind of like do all right. I was with him, and the cash out before the 85th minute was £700. And I said, cash out. I said, I'll take £700 straight away. And he was just like, no, there's 3 games later on. I won't cash it out. I'm like, all right, fair enough. So I was nervous for him. Gets lucky. They come in. I was like, fucking, yeah, fair play. But the cash out goes to £800. And I said, right, there's 3 games left. If some of them start coming in early and the cash out goes up, cash out. Like, if it goes over £1,000, cash out. And he was like, yeah, sure. So I leave him. He goes home, blah, blah. And I was still messaging him, like, cash out, make sure you cash out. Blah. And I fell asleep. He kept it going, and in the 85th minute of one of the games, with the other two games, the teams he needed to win were winning, and one of them were also winning. In the 85th minute, he had a £2,500 cash out, which he was watching live. Which obviously, if I was still awake, would have messaged like fucking £2,500 off a tenner. Just take it. You'll just sleep easy. He didn't. It was the Ecuador-Argentina game. I'm not sure if you've seen it. Ecuador, through VAR, were 1-0 down, but they get a penalty, right? The keeper saves it, and the guy scores a rebound in the 94th minute, and the guy won fuck all. He won nothing after nearly having £2,500. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I just had to get that out there, that story. Like he said, not to say anything, but obviously I've not said his name or anything, and no one will know who he is, but honestly, it made me feel so sick when he told me about it.
I mean, this is. I think people that put 14 folds on deserve shit like this person. You're just not being realistic, are you? You're just not.
Well, I say when I do mine, I always say I'll cash out as soon as it gets to like 100, 200. I'll just cash out. I'll fucking take it. I'm not bothered. The only reason I didn't cash out that Chesterfield one is because I weren't aware. Normally, I'd just cash out.
But they're just not realistic. Like I just don't think it's deserved when you're just doing daft shit like that. I mean,
oh
it's
God!
Honestly, it's not going to come in. I'm sorry, it's just not. And you get 1 in a million. You'll get Sky Bet advertised that person that has done it somehow. That one person out of all the fucking thousands of people that do it every week. It's like, oh yeah, this guy won £500,000 off a £5 bet because he had a random 20-fold. Yeah, good for you, mate. Because I'm sure they make them up, mate. To get people to do it. I'm sure
they probably do. Yeah,
I think you're a victim of this success. That fake success. It's like, oh look, this Jeremy Smith or whatever his fucking name is, like he's won a 14-fold off a fiver. He's now got £500,000 and he can pay for his kids to go to university. DJ goes, oh yeah, I can save up a bit of money by doing the same thing. No, can you fuck because your bet's not coming in?
To be fair, I've had some come in. Like I gamble like in a kind of fun way, not in an addictive way. I put in £5 a week, which is £20 a month, which I think is to have a bit of fun. I think that's kind of bearable.
Can I intervene on that? You gamble like a homeless man's got 50p left in his pocket and he's put all his life ambition on getting it back so he can afford his life back. That's how you bet.
Yeah, well, but now I have won now and again. Not in a while. For some reason, I've not won in a long time. But
I don't know if there's good reason for that, but there's good reason for that.
I have won in the past. I have won. I think the biggest I won was off 50p was something like 850, which is pretty fucking spectacular, really.
It's amazing, but you've probably spent 850 in 50p bets. So
think of all the fun I've had.
Well, it doesn't seem fun to me.
Well,
I don't understand it.
I'll tell you. To conclude this podcast, because we've well overran our usual hour, and we've still didn't do Room 101, but I think we'll just leave that for next week. Because I'm looking forward to doing that. I love Room 101. But anyway, I can't remember what I was going to say.
The climax is we can't remember. So if you want to listen to a podcast where no one has a fucking clue what they're talking about, you've come to the right place.
Pretty much. Oh God, what was I going to say? I feel like I wish I could pause this and rewind it. Like,
See, wait now. There's people listening to you right now thinking, "What a tit!"
Yeah.
Well, I presume people listen to me in the same way. Podcast, occupation, it's the same thing, isn't
it? Yeah. No. Either way. Whatever I was going to say was going to be genius. It was going to be wow. It was going to be unbelievable. It was going to be the most insightful thing you've ever heard. I can't remember. I'm going to listen to this back later. Like, yeah, it was clear as day what I was going to say, but never mind.
The Scout Out
yeah.
podcast has seen another low where we've not
Well,
talked about.
Put your money on Wigan to win tomorrow because Bolton are fucking shit. Fuck you, Bolton.
And if you had any business acumen, you'd know that somebody that puts 50p bets on 14 accumulated forwards is not a good person to take betting tips from. But yeah, no, I don't know. My tip of the day is watch Qatar versus Senegal in the World Cup. What a game that's going to be! I honestly can't wait for them random games. Like, I just actually can't wait. Saudi Arabia versus fucking I can't remember the group, to be honest. Iran versus the USA. What a game!
Oh, mate, that
what a game!
Hey, if talking about historical rivalries.
That politically, that is the biggest national rival. No, I'm kidding.
You're not wrong. Oh dear. Yeah. We'll bounce. I
did. Yeah. I think we'll call it there. Is there any other games this weekend that I've caught you right? I've not really had a chance to look at the fixtures this weekend.
No, I mean I was supposed to. I'll hold my hands up right now. I didn't do much research for this episode because I went out for a belated drink for Mother's Day and I ended up staying out until literally 5:30 and we record at 6. So I've not had much chance.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just nervous for tomorrow as well, so it's hard to kind of focus on other games. I'm hoping we win. Bolton are a little scumbag, 7 fingers on one hand, little fucking cunts.
Right, let's wrap it up then. I'm going to ask you one question. Let's wrap it up with one question. Let's have it that if Wigan beat Bolton tomorrow, would you, or say any Wigan fan for that matter who listens to this podcast, would you or Wigan fans in general feel confident you would go on to secure promotion to the Championship if you win tomorrow, or is it still too much of a foregone conclusion where you still don't know?
Well, me with a more level-headed hat on than me a minute ago who was calling them names. I'd say if we win tomorrow, then not really. But if we win tomorrow and Tuesday and we go 5 points clear, then I really think that the Championship is starting to beckon, because I think we'd be on something like 85 points then. And it's like, once you start getting towards the 90 mark, you must be thinking, right, yeah, this is it now. We must be like going up.
Oh, I feel you'd be. Oh God, yeah. Imagine that. You'd be absolutely aggrieved if you got to like 90 points and didn't get any like promotion. You've had an amazing season, an absolutely incredible season. You're just like, yeah, no, you're not getting promoted.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
you'd be fuming.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I think, but at the minute, I can't help but think that we'll slip up tomorrow somehow, either draw or loss, and then we'll win on Tuesday and kind of just bounce back, and then it'll kind of be like a more of a longer slog. In an ideal world, we'll win both, and we'll win both handsomely. But for me, that's not League One football. League One football is never like that. It's never that easy.
No. I think English football in general doesn't have that.
Yeah.
You look at there's 2 teams in English football. You'd think, yeah, they'll probably win, and that's Liverpool and City. Every other team is just like, if anybody says they feel 100% confident about that win, they're probably lying to you.
Yeah, no, it's true. That is true. But I mean, I've put it up the ticks. Bolton get battered everywhere they go.
That's another point as well. Are people not sick of hearing that chant?
Even I am a little bit. I enjoyed it first, but it's terrible.
Like, I just think, just be original. Your club should make your own chants. Once another club starts singing the same chant, every club in Global League just starts singing that chant. It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
just make your own chants. Just sing about your own players. Make your own chants for your own players, and your club. Your legendary club chants, the chants that you've been singing, since the club's, creation, sing them to your dirty die. But these fucking tin pot chants, they've just got to stop now.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first few times you hear it. I enjoyed it, but like even now, I'm a bit like, yeah, I don't like it. I know it's going to get sang tomorrow though, because it's an easy chant, isn't it? It's a very easy chant.
It's just cringe, though, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
fucking,
a little
just
bit.
it's just got to stop, man. Honestly, it's so shit. I mean, people going about half and half scarves and people taking banners to games with "Can I have your shirt" and shit like that. Those chants are on the same level as that shit.
Oh.
Honestly, let me tell you, they have it. In fact, we'll save this for another podcast because
Yeah, well, I was going to say this is
Yeah.
going to the room 101 was going to be a football room 101, like 3 things from football you'd like to get rid of, but we will save that for another. We'll save that for another because that could be a full fucking half hour.
I hope you got enough time in your day because I'm gonna fucking go in on that one. Like, God, football shite. Anyway, so may as well just tear it apart.
All right, let's bounce. Right, we'll see you later.
Yeah, catch you in a bit, mate. See you in a bit.
Bye, mate.
Bye.